All right, and welcome back to the Armchair Sports Guys. It is Rich Mays, Matt O'Brien, Mike LaChance, and me, GJ Mitchell here. Sean Farhadian could not make it, having some technical difficulties with the weather tonight. So we are here to talk about a Celtics preview as they start their season back up again and get ready for the playoffs on Friday. So, fellas, what do you guys think of the chances of the Celtics for this year, and what are your expectations? And I will start with you, Mike. What are you expecting of this team right now as they start back up? Their first game is tomorrow against, I should say Friday against Milwaukee.
Yeah.
Right? Yep. And then this is all the seeding tournament. So they'll end up paying Portland, Miami, Brooklyn, Toronto, Orlando, Memphis, and Washington. And that will round out that seeding tournament before they actually get into the postseason itself. So, Mike, what are your expectations of this team going forward?
I think they look good from the time I've seen them with these past few exhibition games. They look decent. I mean, it's tough to know that what happened a few months ago is they've been working out. They look very firm.
He must work out.
The past few months, I mean, having that one game and all of a sudden it just boom stopped and then that's it. Season's over. So I mean, it must be in these guys' heads that, okay, if anything, walk on pins and needles, it must be, holy shit, we got to keep on the straight and narrow. But I think I think they're going to do all right. I think it'll be good. I think their NBA has had no positive COVID tests, no positive results. So I think what they have going on is a good setup. Even though I hate how things are going right now. I mean, it's something on. Hopefully our Boston boys go down and kick some ass and bring a title back for what it's worth and just kind of end the season on a high note. See what happens the next few months, start over again fresh. But they look all right. I mean, I have high hopes to see what the next couple of weeks bring. So.
All right. And Matt, your thoughts on the Celtics right now, what your expectations are for them?
To be honest, it's just like any other sport right now as far as, well, maybe not baseball, but I mean, you're going to see it a lot with hockey. I think it's anybody's game. This is a very long stretch that all the players have had. So, I mean, and they're down there in Orlando, Florida. So it's a neutral site. Everybody's on the same playing field. I will say that during this entire COVID, the NBA and the NHL have gotten it right, getting the bubble and the amenities that they have down there. I mean, they have tried. They have a barber shop on there. They try to make it its own little world, its own little country, so the players can absolutely be as comfortable as possible without actually going insane. They can't shower at the game facilities. They got to do it back at their hotel rooms, and they can't shower at the practice facilities. So it's very regimented. You have to have it that way, and it's kind of like, hey, this is what you got. This is what we want. Now, to Mike's point, no, was it 344? Nobody's tested positive, right? Correct me on that math.
I think so. Yeah.
Looking at their schedule, playing the Bucks, the best team in the East right now, and then following up with the Heat. I mean, those two competitive teams. But the Celtics have a lot going for them. They have Jaylen Brown, Tatum, Kemba Walker, all averaging over 20 points a game. And then you have, oh Christ, I just had his name up there. What's Jason Hayward? He's at 17 points. Obviously, since Hayward broke his leg 2 years ago, I mean, he hasn't been the same person. There has been rumors going around like, are you 100%? And he was quoted as like, no, I'll never be 100%. He probably won't be the same player that he ever will be. I can't really blame him because that break was gross. But when you add three players with over 20 points per game, that's a pretty even match. And look at Marcus Smart down low, Enes Kanter working down low. Those are some big bodies. However, I still think the Milwaukee Bucks are the toughest team. I mean, Pat Connaughton, he's actually from Arlington, Massachusetts. He's like their 6th, 7th man. He would start on the Celtics.
Yeah.
Mark my words, that kid is good. He was in the NBA dunk contest. I think he went pretty far in the rounds. But I mean, as much as I'm hopeful for the Celts, I just don't see them getting by Milwaukee. I still think that they'll run up in trouble. These last 8 games will definitely test, I think, all of the players because NHL is just going right into playoff hockey, right? Those exhibition games the Bruins are on right now, they are going 100%. I mean, they have to get in game shape. You know what I mean? So the NBA is actually, let's finish the remainder of the 8 games, which I like. So they actually has a fair seeding at the end, and then start with the playoff teams with the 22 teams. So it's going to be interesting. However, as much as I am biased, I mean, look at the Milwaukee Bucks roster. They're just too strong. They're just too strong. And the remainder of the schedule, I mean, they're playing the top seeded teams.
Yeah, they're playing all these teams that are just our powerhouses right now.
Right.
Well,
It's like fucking do or die.
In the NBA versus more, any other sport out there, the best player in the league usually is the one that wins the title. I mean, with all due respect to, Giannis, but like LeBron's the best player in the league. I mean, last year with Toronto winning, Toronto had the best player in the league. So it's who's the best player, and in this case, I think it's going to be what team comes out hot and their key player can carry them, because LeBron could suck. I mean, LeBron could be just. And I know it's not something to say that, but he could just suck coming out of the blocks. Now, granted, like you said, you got these 8 games or whatever to play, but he could just be somebody that just doesn't pick up well after this whole, COVID business. And that Lakers team could tank. Same thing with like the Clippers. You could have, oh my God, what the heck is his name? The guy that left Toronto to go to the Clippers.
Moses Malone.
No, that was old school. That was not the Clippers. That was the 76ers. Not Serge Ibaka.
Kawhi Leonard.
Kawhi Leonard. Thank you. Kawhi Leonard. He could come back and just start slowing down or falling or something like that, where it's just he's not like back into the mental game of that. And the Clippers could be a team that doesn't win or doesn't go far. So I do agree with you guys.
Point guard going to strip clubs.
Well, yeah, that's the other thing too. But I do agree with you that there is a certain level of being able to come back and play these 8 games and hopefully do something with these 8 games before you get right into the playoffs. But Rich, I'll go to you next. What's your thoughts on this Celtics team and what you expect out of them?
Well, you know me, I don't really give a crap about basketball until playoff time. Just like any team, I mean, like same with hockey, it's like such a long, unusual layoff that I think that whichever team, can get their shit together in their minds, that stayed relatively in shape over the break and can coalesce as quickly as they can, will probably have an advantage over the other teams, just because if they can get back into that mindset of playoff basketball, a long layoff is not usually conducive to intensity. So, and then as far as the Celtics go, I mean, they have 5 really good players, Jaylen Brown and especially Jason Tatum. I mean, that guy was on his way to becoming a superstar this year before this whole thing derailed it. I mean, if they can pass, shoot, and defend as well as anybody, and that'll give them a good chance to score more points than the other team, obviously, which will contribute greatly to victories.
I like it. I am nervous a little bit about it. Well, you said pass, shoot, score. All I could think of was from Miracle.
Yeah,
pass,
that's what
shoot,
I thought
score.
too.
Yeah.
Couple of cone
trying
heads.
to be as ordinary as possible and describing that, because honestly, I don't know who's good in the NBA. I generally don't follow it until like the playoffs, and then like I'll pay attention and I know everybody and what's going on. But basketball is not a game that captures my attention.
They have that 8-game cushion, to George's point. Like LeBron could come out and suck, but every team knows they're going to make the playoffs. Right? They know they're going to the next round. So it's
a matter of where you can get seated.
I wouldn't want you to rev that engine right off the bat. Like, who wants to like slowly wait? Remember the Red Sox? Was it last year? Oh, we're going to take spring training real slow. We're going to take the first month of the season real slow. They were dog shit by Memorial Day.
They were dog shit in April.
Like, oh, we're going to be loosey-goosey and just let shit go down and we'll, play it out. No, if a team wants to win, they need to hit the ground fucking running and just 8 games is 8 games, and then the playoffs. They need to.
Well, that's what I mean.
Need to take this shit
NHL
seriously.
is full throttle right now. Like that, every fucking game counts. The NBA has that cushion. So if you have guys that, it all depends on. some guys may be taking this as, okay, I understand that this is last 8 games of the season, but this is for our seed in the playoffs. So you have to be more mentally strong or stronger mentally than you are physically in this battle. Because an NBA, if you're out of fucking shape as an NBA basketball player, you're a lazy asshole, because all of them, maybe not all of them, I can't speak for all of them, but more than not, they have a basketball court in their backyard where they can run drills. Not everybody has a fucking hockey rink in their backyard. Okay, so skating is going to be, for the NHL, I mean, that takes a long time. So playing hockey, that's the hardest sport to pick up in my mind. Learning how to skate. So I will give a little leeway for the NHL players, the best player in the league, David Pastrnak, to the worst player in the league, George Mitchell. So, but
Tuukka Rask.
Yeah, I was like, I knew he was going to say Tuukka Rask.
Fucking Rask.
But with the NBA,
I got George's rookie card right here. Oh, it's
the
nothing.
NBA, you should already be. I'm not going to call it game shape or mentally game shape, because they haven't played a lot of games. Okay, I understand that, but you should be physically fit. That's the one thing I had. If we're going to switch gears to the Celtics or go down the list, was I'm going to say his name wrong. Was it Kemba Walker with the knee?
Kemba Walker with the knee. Yeah, now I want to talk about that next.
January 10th. Okay, go ahead.
Well, so
fuck it. Go ahead. Lie.
We'll do it live.
So that's the thing, right? So here's your general starting 5. Kemba Walker at the 1. You would probably put, I don't know, maybe Gordon Hayward at the 2, Jaylen Brown at the 3. Brown at the 3, Jason Tatum at the 4, and probably Enes Kanter as your starting center. Good lineup.
What about Taco Fall?
No, Taco's riding the pine. I mean, I love the guy, but unfortunately, you're in the playoffs. Now,
Bowl 2.0.
Yeah, exactly.
Put him in.
No, not in playoff time. There's no reason for it. He's not.
Shake things up a little bit.
Dude, it's not about shaking things up. It's about winning a fucking title, and that's the stupidest shit in the world.
But
to put a guy
gets
who's
stuck
7'6"
on top of the board,
exactly. You want
somebody
to
grab
Great.
it.
Then they call the timeout, and they walk his ass over there. He gets the ball, and they play again. It's like when you get the
standing out.
Yeah, it's like when you get the ball, over to Mr. Foley's fence. You either got to go knock on his door, right? You got to knock on his door, or you got to go get it and hope you don't get bit by the dog. I mean, it's the same shit, right?
I know we're all 6'8" here, but where's Taco Fall?
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I mean, shit. If Muggsy Bogues at 5'5" can dunk, I'm pretty sure we can get some guy who's 6 feet to get the ball from off the net. But nonetheless, what does worry me, and we were talking about Kemba, is Kemba Walker's knee. Now I know the quote was they were asking Danny Ainge how his knee is, and I'm sorry, not Danny Ainge.
Brad Stevens,
thank you, the coach. And he said that this is the strongest it's ever been since he got here in September.
Yeah, thanks, Dr. Stevens.
Well, I have a big problem with that. Does that mean
Coach Farrell?
Yeah, but does that mean in September it wasn't that strong? Does that mean in September they signed this guy knowing that he had a knee problem? So let's put that aside, because that's the conspiracy theory part of it. Just down to the nitty-gritty X's and O's. If he can't play back-to-back games, or if he's going to be on a minutes restriction, who's going to take up that mantle of the point guard? You could go Marcus Smart. Love it. Great move. Decent point guard. Doesn't always have to get a shot. Pretty good facilitator with the ball, but plays great defense. Probably your best defensive player on this team. And I'll be honest with you, I will tell you in general, in my personal opinion, arguably you can tell me he's a top 3 defender in the league. The guy can guard all 5 positions. Fact. He's done it in a game when it counts. So
defender, I agree with you. But do you really want to do like that, throwing up 10 crazy ass shots?
Well, so that's the other thing. You put him at a point guard position. He's not going to, because your point guard is going to be a facilitator, which is why I love Kemba Walker more than I did Kyrie, and even to a certain perspective more than I liked IT. And the reason is Kemba Walker is a facilitator first.
Right.
So Kemba Walker to me is a combination of Kyrie and Rajon Rondo. Kyrie, because yeah, exactly. It would be a Kai Rondo, right? So the reason is Kyrie can score, right?
Jealous.
Kemba can score, right? Kyrie can go to the hole. He can shoot up, take a quick pop and, stop and pop shot.
Talking
and
about a basketball player or a drug
Yes.
addict?
Yeah, both. So Kemba can do that, right? But
Shoot up,
Kemba can
pop up.
also pass like Rondo. Now, not the fancy, all crazy shit that Rondo does, but sees the court well enough to have the vision to pass. And the fact that Kemba has already said he's going to get out of the way of Brown and Tatum, who, when the All-Star game happened, when Brown got snubbed, his game went up because he was pissed. And when Tatum made it, his game got elevated because he's like, yo, I finally made it. You know what I mean? Like, now this is going to be my league. And I say that with respect to, guys like Giannis and LeBron and Kawhi and whatnot. But this is going to be slowly Tatum's league. Like, this is, if you don't believe that Tatum is the next big thing, then you are sitting with your head in the toilet and you might want to go take another look, because this kid's a stud. And
How can you take a second look at your head in the toilet?
Well, I'll show you later.
Down there somewhere.
Exactly. Take another look.
Take a second look.
So Kemba Walker's knee worries me because of what he brings to the team as far as getting other players involved, but also understanding the moment and where he can take over a game and score a quick 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 points or whatnot to either cut a lead down if they need to come back a little bit, or extend a lead if they're trying to push a team to the brink. So I think Kemba Walker is a huge factor in this. But to me, I think the biggest guy in this is Jaylen Brown. I think Jaylen Brown is your guy that you need to have game in and game out. Keep elevating his game and keep that chip on your shoulder about being snubbed for the All-Star.
So now you got, was it 5 or 6, even 7 top guys on the Celtics right now that could easily be starters. You kind of rotate those guys around and say, okay, this guy, they can all be starters.
Yeah,
just
correct.
How many guys on the team?
So you're like 15 deep. So they might have extended it to 17. But honestly, when you're in the playoffs, your bench is 8 deep.
Yeah,
17
so
total.
so I wonder if,
okay, I knew they extended it.
Yeah.
I wonder if you have those 6 or 7 guys, just say 6 guys in rotation. I wonder if, and this is just a question for the entire league too. Just if you're gonna have, but just say the Celtics, like Brad Stevens will say, okay, I got these 6 guys, be 5 guys on my starters, or the 1 or 2 guys on the bench who I know are gonna play, if not more, the same number of minutes that the other guys are playing now. But because of this such a long layover and what we're doing, had to adapt. Do you think they're going to rotate more and say, okay, the first couple games, kind of just do it like a machine? Okay, even bring, not saying Taco Fall, I joked about it before, but bring a guy off the bench and say, okay,
like
just
Romeo Langford, or exactly.
Yeah, go in for
you will.
For
he's the one that'll get more playing time.
2 or 3 possessions. Give Kemba Walker a break. And if you're doing good, you stay in and kind of just rotate and know that, okay, here's our game plan. Even if you're on the bench and you're trying to be there the rest of the fucking season, there's going to be a chance where these guys need to perform, but they need a breather too.
Well, yeah, the conditioning aspect of it. So, and actually, if you watched the last game the Celtics had, I think the whole entire bench pretty much played the second half, and that included not having Brown, Tatum, Walker, Hayward. I don't know if Canner played. Maybe Smart didn't play. Those guys didn't even play at all. So Brad Stevens is definitely limiting some of the minutes, and I'm sure he's going to watch and monitor Kemba's knee. I wouldn't be surprised if at the end of this whole thing you hear Kemba went in for a arthroscopic procedure of something to clear up some debris or whatever on the knee. Or to clear up a meniscus tear or whatever it is. I wouldn't be surprised at that. I really think that that's a possibility. But I think Jason, Jaylen Brown is your guy to really have to step up and keep the foot on the gas for this team, because Kemba's going to come out and play as hard as he can. Jason Tatum's going to play as hard as he can. Marcus Smart's going to play as hard as he can. And Brown, I hope so. It's not that I really doubt that he will, but I think he's going to be that linchpin, that guy that if he can go out and he can score 15 to 25 points a night and get anywhere from 7 to 10 assists a game and he could do that on a consistent basis, that's going to make it very, very hard for other teams to defend, including teams like Milwaukee that you're going to see on Friday. Even looking at like Toronto, or even Portland too. Again, teams that have multiple guys that can score, but if you can run and gun with this team and you can have 3, 4, 5 guys that can consistently get 15 to 20 points a night, it's going to be hard to stop this team, because now you're literally going to have to defend all 5 instead of knowing, okay, that guy, you can let him go 25 feet and out or 20 feet and out. He's not going to be that great, or he's not going to shoot from there because he's not that accurate. And you can cut back and have that, I don't want to say zone defense, but that help defense. And I just think that that's going to be too tough for any other team to defend if all these guys are going at the rate that they should be. And it looks like that Brad Stevens is, has.
And they also have that snitch rule down there too. They got the bubble snitch rule. So this is the first, I guess, close contact sport that's come back. I mean, soccer's been back, but
hockey's back now as well.
No, you're right. I'm saying that we've seen that. Okay, this is the first kind of real game the day before hockey is going to be on, and those guys are good. They're in a bubble, like I said. That's snitch rule. I don't know if everyone knows what that is, but you see a guy doing something they shouldn't be doing, you make a phone call to the league and say, hey, listen, George is out there giving blowjobs behind a dumpster again. I don't think he should be behind.
Again.
He should be back in his room where he belongs.
Well, and wait. Was the receiver part, was he also in the league in the bubble?
He was at one point.
Because when's the next time they're going to get fellatio? So,
yeah, well,
2 or 3 months. Do you rat that guy out?
No, you keep. I mean, he once was employed as a bathroom attendant and attendee.
George is a bathroom attendant. I mean,
guy wanted
60 days inside a bubble. I mean,
and now
people have needs. That's some serious shit.
And now he's giving George 60 bubbles.
Would do it. George would do it if Kemba Walker walked in and was like, George, remember what you talked about day 2? Well, it's been 2.5 months, man. We're in the Eastern Conference Finals. I need a release.
I won't tell him.
No problem. Whatever gets that knee healthy.
Wow.
And he tries to tip him. George just doesn't. He's just too proud.
George was in for a hug.
Yeah.
So I'll let this fact. Anything to get it Boston? 100%. 100%.
Well, I mean, it's going to be a topic. I mean, what's his name for the Bucks already went to a strip joint.
We're doing it for Red, baby.
Right.
We're doing it for Red.
It's a real thing, and they said that these guys who are leaving. Yeah. I mean, as much as we joke about with you guys, I mean, these guys are leaving. This guy's calling, going, yeah, he's outside. He shouldn't.
Wasn't a guy? Didn't a guy get like a strip club? Went to a strip club, and it's like yeah.
So it's going to happen, but
I do want to go over some of the. Again, this is off of DraftKings, so I'm going to at least give them the respect due based on where I'm looking. These are the odds right now. Tell me how you feel about these. Lakers and Bucks are plus 250 to win the title. I can agree with that. East Coast or East Conference, Western Conference, top teams coming in. I can agree with that. The next is the Clippers at plus 333. Again, Clippers and Lakers been phenomenal this year. And both teams are stacked. After that, you get the Rockets at plus 1,400.
Rockets are on fire right now.
Yeah, they are. And I hate
James Harden is.
I hate Harden.
Fucking category.
I hate Harden and Russell Westbrook. I think they're the.
I love Westbrook.
They're the epitome. Now, as people,
he's a zero fucks giving guy. I like that guy,
and I respect that. And maybe, I mean, again, what I've heard of them off the court, I think the world of them. The things they do for charity, for kids, the type of stuff that they do.
I wasn't even talking about that.
Away. But on the court, I think Harden is.
I don't give a fuck about that.
I think on the court, Harden's a dick.
That's a zero fucks giving guy.
Harden is a dink, and then Russell Westbrook. I got no real use for you. None.
I'll take him in a green and white jersey.
Because he's
both.
No, James Harden, useless because he throws up a billion shots. He's a me player, not a facilitator. And in this offense with Brad Stevens, you got to move the ball around, and that's just the way it is. Rich, you're now upside down. What the fuck are you doing?
I'm not doing anything, man.
Well, turn your phone back around.
He's a Lionel Richie fan.
There
He's
we
a
go.
Lionel Richie
This
fan.
goes into the
Dance on us.
bloopers, right?
I let's hope so. But so Harden, I'm okay with. I mean, Harden, I can't stand. But Russell Westbrook, again, he's a mini Harden. He's kind of like me. All right, I'll pass you a little bit, but me. I got no use for that. I want a guy. Again, maybe because I grew up in the watching '80s basketball where the ball didn't touch the floor at all from one end to one end. It was passing all the way down, and you scored. You know what I mean? And it was none of the bullshit, and
Well,
clear it
tried
out and
running
get.
in those short shorts,
Yeah, well, I'm
dribbling
surprised we
with
did.
the ball.
Well, I mean, they did. They dribbled with
Dribbling
three of them.
three
when they
ball.
ran.
Ah, you
Exactly.
fucker!
Yeah,
You fucker!
yeah. Great
Damn
mind,
it.
Duct
baby.
tape. Duct
Why do
tape
I think
reference.
Kevin McHale?
Oh, dude, all day. Either that or Robert Parrish, one of the two. 'Cause- that was great.
They're all
after that,
globetrotters.
you got the Raptors at plus 1,800. Again, losing Kawhi, I think hurts them. Good team, solid, but I don't know if they're going to have that veteran leadership, even though they just won it last year. But then that brings me up to where we are, and this is the Celtics and the 76ers are at plus 2,000. So let me ask you guys a question.
A good odds.
Based on that odd, the plus 2,000, would you? I'm just going to ask you straight up. Somebody gives you $100, but you have to place a bet. Would you place it on the Celtics to win the title this year for plus 200?
Are they plus 200 or 2,200?
I mean, plus 2,000. I'm sorry, plus 2,000.
2,000? I think that's
Fair.
very fair.
Fair and great value.
Almost more than fair.
Yeah, right.
Great
value.
I think I'd throw the 100 down on that.
They must be really betting that Kemba Walker is not 100%, which I feel he's not 100%. And you should see the minutes that he's been logging lately. Granted, it's exhibition, and they are taking time with him. But when George, I did see that. I was trying to bring it up, but I was like, wow, 2,200, really? After this currently third right now in the Eastern Conference, easily could be second and possibly catch up to the Bucks. But Bucks are 53 wins, I think 12 losses. That's just nasty.
The Celtics are plus 800 to win the East, behind the Bucks at minus 167, the Raptors at plus 700, and the 76ers at plus 750. So to win the Eastern Conference, it's plus 800.
Buck.
Yeah.
The Buck stops.
I wouldn't mind seeing Boston down a little bit. I mean, but plus 2,000 isn't a bad.
I would take the 100 and be like, yeah, fuck it. They have still a legitimate shot.
Yeah, instantly, of course. But I think they out of respect, they deserve to be a little bit less than that. But at that point, if someone threw $100 at me, yeah, I'll match 100. Sure.
I was gonna say matchup wise, here's the Celtics matchup: Celtics Lakers plus 1,900, Celtics Clippers plus $2,000, Celtics Rockets plus 6,000. Here's one I like: Celtics Nuggets $10,000, Celtics Jazz $12,000. So this is plus, though you put 100 down, you win $12,000.
Right.
This one's one of my favorite here. Where did I see it as I was flipping through? Celtics versus Thunder plus 30,000. Yeah.
I got some phone calls to make.
Celtics, hold on, Rich. Celtics Trailblazers 5,000. Pelicans Celtics 5,000. Celtics Grizzlies 8,000. Celtics Spurs 100,000.
Wow.
And
Well, giving some credit to the Spurs too, but
Damn.
Celtics Kings plus 200,000. Celtics Suns plus 200,000, and that's probably where I'm going to end it. So
you're going to get excited with the 200K and waving and the carry, in front
imagine.
of Velveteen Rabbit, but fuck that.
Dude,
I like
imagine.
What was it? The Celtics Lakers 2,200 or 2,000? Rudy.
Oh no, I'm listening. I'm trying to hit the wrong button. Celtics Lakers plus 1,900.
Still pretty good.
Yeah.
not bad.
Still pretty good.
Yeah. So,
I mean,
Rich, I know you had a quick question, so go ahead. And
I have a quick question.
Yes, sir.
We've established
I have a
that.
quick question.
Step 2 is washing it off.
Fucker. Has there been any NBA players that have opted out already? Didn't Giannis say he wasn't playing?
I don't.
He may have been mentioned, but he's playing.
Is
Yeah,
Kyrie
Tatum
Irving,
was
did he
also
opt
on the
out?
fence, but He's
Um,
There's
playing.
just people that don't matter, like Kyrie Irving, right? Like people we don't give a shit about. off
well,
camera.
yeah,
Don't
I
really
mean,
care
A
about him.
deadbeat.
Yeah.
Somebody in the community you won't give a shit about.
Yeah.
so yeah,
Human paraquat.
I know. I heard a couple of the guys went to the bubble, didn't like the amenities, and fucked off.
yeah.
I
Well-
don't know. I don't know names. That was kind of in the lingo of the interwebs. But there's a couple players that didn't like what they saw down there, and they're like, "Nah, I'd rather be home."
Wow.
But I don't know if there are too many like
There's not a lot of big names here.
yeah, not a
No,
lot of big
no.
names that I've
A
seen.
forward,
knocked out.
Fabo Safalosha. Sounds like
Oh yeah,
don't even know.
Tiago Cephalosha. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
And
again, not a big name.
Yeah.
Oladipo, he only
curious.
played 13 games. I mean, I'm butchering these names. I mean, yeah, there
Oh
are
yeah.
guys,
Well, Oladipo's a
but DeAndre
big
Jordan
name.
from the
Yeah.
Nets.
Yeah, but it's the
From
Nets.
the Nets.
Yeah.
Excuse me, I thought I said that. But not like
Yeah,
a
no, but I was
Giannis
saying
or not a Tatum or
Victor Oladipo's sort of a big name, but again, I think he was injured a little bit this year, so he's
Avery
probably just
Bradley.
coming back. Yeah, but Avery Bradley's because he had
citing
uh,
his family.
family. Yeah, I think his wife's pregnant,
Mhm.
or going to have his daughter. So
You're welcome.
yeah. So
Kyrie
now,
Irving, that's probably your biggest name.
yeah, well, nobody's gonna miss his ass. So
I mean, he's not doing it for other reasons, I guess.
yeah, because he's a fucking lunatic.
Moving on.
He's doing it for
Yeah,
attention.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Next topic. That could
yeah.
be leading into the next
Attention.
topic.
Yeah.
Hooah!
Well,
Attention! Hooah!
exactly. And actually, that's not a bad segue. So speaking of other reasons, so the NBA is and I say allowing, and if you're listening to this on a podcast, it is air quotes now as I say allowing players to put saying something on the back of their jersey instead of their name. So instead of saying, Brown 7 or Tatum 0, you can put something on the back. All right. I'm going to do two things. I'm going to give you a list of some of the things that are being allowed, but then I'm going to mention something that I really think the NBA, I know they fucked up on, and I understand it's a business part of it, but I really think it's kind of bullshit. And here it is. So on the back of the jerseys, you can have as follows: Black Lives Matter, education reform, enough, equality, freedom, libertarian, love us, stand up, how many more, say her name. No, not libertarian. Sorry, liberation. Sorry, libertarian. Liberation. I was like, libertarian. I can't even read my own damn writing.
Republican, Democrat.
Exactly.
Left wing, right wing.
So,
Conservative.
exactly. Controversy instead of controversy.
That's the only best voice I have is Hank Hill.
You say that's your
Whoa.
best, and that's your best.
Whoa.
That's
What is it
I
good
gotta-
for?
Good call. So I get it that, and listen, I like what the NBA is doing. Again, it's a predominantly black league. I think they of any sport, I think, has done the best to address the issues because of the racial makeup of the league itself, from the players' perspective. So I think the Black Lives Matter and what they've done has been a good thing for them to address. My biggest issue is, how about the equality for people in China? The civil rights for people in China. That's the problem. The NBA put the old kibosh on that because they have relations with China to make all of the jerseys, the basketballs, all of that stuff out there. So they don't want a player to speak out against how the Chinese people are being treated over there by their government and the repression and the things that are going on there that we are also dealing with here in our country in this time right now. Man, that pisses me off. That's so hypocritical. And I get it. It's a business thing, right? You're not going to do business. I would not want to have somebody come after my business and say, we're doing things wrong because they're a bigger, badder influence in the world. Granted, I'm probably a shitbag for doing things wrong, but the NBA knows they've got to toe that line with China to make sure that they can not only come over there and bring their fan base more games and all that, and bring the NBA experience more towards that region of the world, with China being one of the biggest supporters of the NBA internationally. But you mean to tell me that you're going to restrict what these players can do? Isn't that what the fucking players are fighting for right now? Restriction, oppression, all of that shit. And the NBA from the top down is saying, nah. Kemi Matamo, no. And telling you can't do this. I myself, I'm pissed. And I'm pissed for the fans. I'm sorry. I'm pissed for the players. And I'm pissed for the organizations that it's like, man, like you're trying to do good. You're trying to do something good for a league to bring attention to something that needs to be attention brought to it in the proper way. And then you tell the league, nope, you can only talk about what's happening in America. You can't talk about what's happening across the board and oppression in the whole world, which, in my opinion, should be eradicated anyway. So what the fuck are you doing, NBA? Are you going to get your shit on straight, or are you going to just be a bag of dicks? Like, what are you doing? Well, apparently, and again, I get it.
Money.
I get it, but you know, they couldn't even put. They couldn't even.
No pun intended.
Yeah, they couldn't even put like like George Floyd's name on it. They couldn't put his name on the back. They couldn't put was it Breonna Taylor? Couldn't put her name on the back. So that's why they put, say her name. Well, what's the difference? What's the difference? You're trying to honor these people and the lives that they lost for something so stupid over racism. That's all it is. Over racism. And the NBA is taking a predominantly black community and saying, nope, sorry, players, you can't do that. Well, then fuck you. Put my name on the back, and I'll have my trainer put duct tape over it and put somebody else's nameplate. Like, what the fuck? Seriously?
I got a quick 2 points if I can interject with that one.
By all means, I need to drink.
Go ahead, have a sippy poo there, Dolan. Yeah. So
finishing his
I can
coffee.
finish my coffee. I'm fucking saying. I wanna see any NBA player now. Any of them. I don't care if whatever they put in the back of their jersey and they want to fight for this and stand up for this or kneel down or lay down or sit down or do fucking cartwheels, whatever it is they're doing, fine. I want to see the players who do this go, you know something? I want to do what's right. I want to stand up for these people. I want to wear their name in the back of my jersey subtly. I'm gonna fist it. I'm gonna kneel, or we're gonna do it, lock arms, whatever it is, but I'm playing for free for the rest of the year. I don't want to take a dime because this isn't about money. This is about advocating and being forefront. I don't want to play. But that
why are they mutually exclusive? Why can't you still get paid? Hold on, but Mike, hold on. Why can't you still get paid for the job you do and yet still be able to have the freedom, which is what America's built on, fucking freedom, to be able to put George Floyd's name on the back of your jersey? Now, granted, I am 99.99999% sure that almost every NBA player that goes out will have some sort of message about George Floyd, Breonna Taylor, anybody else that is on their shoe or on a sock or on a wristband.
But before you couldn't write stuff on your shoe. You couldn't write anything.
Well, no, they can. They would just get fined for it, which is stupid.
You get fined. So you're right. That's my whole point. So before we couldn't do it, we get fined. So now we do it. Fine. We're not going to play for money then. We win money, you can't fine us. So let that part go. That's part one. Part two is you get a team of 17? I'll say 15. 15 guys. There's more than that. Let's just say 15 is a number right now. 15 guys. This is not a racial comment. This is a truth comment. 9 out of the 15 African American. 10, 11, 12 out of the 15 African American. That's just what it is. That is
the rest
number.
of Euros. Yeah.
Rest of Euros, you might have a white guy here and there. So what if I'm the only white guy on the team? And I say, you know what? I agree with you. I think it's this, but I busted my ass to have my name in the back of my jersey to play this game that I love, that I've busted my ass for. I don't want to do that. I want to wear my name. Are you fucking telling me right now he's not going to be shit on by the media, the fans, the league, his fellow teammates?
The cancel culture.
So now you're going to have – I think there's going to be a little bit of behind the scenes of maybe not up front, but that guy's not going to get all the attention that I'll just say his name. Kemba Walker's gonna be. He's not saying him as the guy, but just as a name. See the guy going, I don't want to do that. There's gonna be some backlash. If it's not from his own teammates, which I hope to fuck it's not, it's gonna be the fans and the media are gonna drag this guy down. And whoever does it, maybe I'm wrong.
I'll give you the most popular name in the NBA. LeBron James is wearing his own name on the back of his jersey. So isn't Anthony Davis. LeBron's I want to express when I want to express, but no. You know what? I want to play the game. Anthony Davis is like, I commend anybody else to put whatever they want on the back of their jersey or whatever is listed on that list. But LeBron James is LeBron, once again setting the standard for what if Hayward? Hayward is wearing, I forget what he's wearing on the back of his jersey, not important. But if Hayward put his name on the back, well, you're going to call me racist, but LeBron has his name on the back of his jersey.
Black and white. Unfortunately,
I think it's great what LeBron's doing because he's like, no, I'm gonna put my name. I appreciate the guys that are doing that. But if you look at LeBron's resume outside of the NBA, outside his profession, he's built schools. I mean, he's been socially an activist for the black community, and he's backed it up every step of the way. But by him putting the name on the jersey, I think opens the door to just say, hey, guys, chill. Like, just because he's not putting something on the back.
I hope it does. White. I hope you're right. I hope you're
right too. But at the same time, like, of course, you're going to see on Twitter if Hayward has Hayward on the back, there's going to be tons of assholes like, I'm not watching another game. But it's the same thing when people say they just knelt for the national anthem. Now what? I'm not watching another game. So then you have. Then you have both sides.
It's the same people that I've seen that have had like the Black Lives Matter is on the back of Fenway Park, right off the Mass
it's in
Pike.
Center Field and it's out.
And I've seen this on my post feeds and various Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, which by the way, you should follow us on all the Armchair Sports Guys, Facebook and Instagram, and on Twitter, armchair_guys. But on my own personal feeds, I've seen people scratch out the word black, write the word all, and underline it. And I'm like, I get it. Without getting the political part of it, I get it, right? There's a big line and there's a lot of things going on with the protests that aren't all the Black Lives Matter stuff happening, right? There are very much peaceful protests for Black Lives Matter, and I am very much 100% behind that. It sucks that all of us can walk down the street past a group of police officers just standing there. Anywhere we could be, anywhere. We're walking in Boston, there's a group of police officers on the corner just chilling, not doing anything. You're not doing anything, and we can walk by and there's no looks, there's no nothing. But if we were all African American and we look, those police officers are going to spot us as soon as they see us and keep their eye on us as soon as we walk by all the way through. And that sucks. That sucks in America. That sucks anywhere in the world. But we know in America this shit happens on a daily basis, on a hourly basis, on a minute basis, on a second basis. This type of shit happens and it's got to go. But also the part of it too is you've got all these protesters that are just being stupid and being dumb. And it's it's giving a bad name for what really should be the issue, which is getting the systemic racism done. And that's the thing I have a problem with is in the NBA, you've already got systemic racism, again, using air quotes, by them telling you can't put somebody else's name other than your own or the list of things that we give you.
Surprised that they did that to begin with.
Yeah,
right. I'm with you. Why can't the players propose a name, whatever it is?
Yeah.
George Floyd, Breonna Taylor. I don't care. It has to get approved.
You can't put Rusty Cunts on the back of your jersey. Even though he was or Huey Fucks. Again, Huey Fucks, great name. Dick Trickle, great name. If you watched our draft, which we're going to talk about as we leave the show in a minute, and who the winner is, undisputedly, of course.
Send me a quick conversation.
Yeah, which is real simple and easy. It's a one-word answer. But you can't put those on the back because it doesn't make sense. But with you, Matt, if you want to put George Floyd's name on there, fucking A, put George Floyd's name on there.
Approved by the league. That's it.
Yeah.
So how about you get a team and says, okay, you got 1, 2, 3, and 4. You know what? No name in the back, just a number, and we'll promote and say we're all the name. There's no name because
we're all equal.
We're all equal.
Yeah.
No name. Why have a saying? Why? I get why, but why?
Yeah, right. Yeah, no, I know what you mean by saying that. You get why, but why? Yeah.
But why not just do okay? You know what? Just keep the number. We're all equal here. There's no name. There's nothing. That way, it fine-tooth combs it right out and says, okay, you know what? We're
Was
gonna
this
weed
the
out the
player's
assholes.
idea to do this, by the way? Sorry.
I
to cut off,
I think it was
this might have been.
proposed.
I think it was
Was it-
proposed. Yeah.
Yeah.
So okay, so the league
So-
that's a huge deal.
Yeah.
Oh,
Now you're gonna make
100%.
now you're gonna make more jerseys. You're gonna do this. Now what do they do with after them? Do they frame them in their house? Do
Well,
they
so
trade
that-
them after games? Do they sell them and
I
you know,
don't think you can buy them online. I've looked.
No, I think they're custom for the league itself. I think you're
Okay.
right. I don't think you
it
can buy
also
them.
sucks for the broadcasters because if you fucking are in the heat of a moment and some guy dishes it right back out for Black Lives Matter for three.
Black Lives Matter.
You know what
yeah.
I mean? And then
Black
you're gonna
Lives
sound like
Matter
a
in the
dick.
corner. Pass it over to
Damn it.
Freebum.
You better
Bob
know
Ross
those
gets it.
facial expressions. I'm not kidding. You better be like
They're gonna sit Tommy Heinsohn down for 4 hours and go, "Don't say anything."
right. Like,
Anything.
seriously though, that's where it can get you. You can fuck up big time with that because
Yeah, this could be huge. Yeah.
you have to know like it's easier in basketball. It's a slower paced game and body language and all that stuff and shape of the body. Like, yep, that's LeBron. That's Hayward. That's Tatum. Okay, I got it. And you won't even need to look at the back of the jerseys. First off, you have the rosters with you, so you'll have the correct names. But I can tell you from experience, in the heat of a moment, tie game or for the lead, if you, oh man, I hope they fuck up. Honestly, I really do. It's just like, and it ditches it out to enough. Good, like, and it was more than enough, and the Celtics win.
I can't breathe because I'm so excited.
Yeah, exactly.
I hate to mock it. I hate to make jokes.
No, no,
But
but
that's the
fucking
only
funny.
thing. The
It's
funny thing that I thought of. I'm like,
Yeah.
there's gonna be one. Even the PA announcer, when he's trying to look at the back of the jersey, he's like, "Fuck, who's number 2?"
Yeah.
That's me. I'm fuck number
oh.
2.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well,
Fuck
I mean,
number
I'm not
2.
mocking it. I am for it. I'm shocked the NBA did approve it. I would have liked to have just said, "Hey, throw out any name you want out there. Put it in a bucket. I'll go through it. Whoever it is that goes through these names, I will go through one by one. Approve, no, yes, no, yes. Whatever. The Celtics, all 17 guys are putting names on the back of their jersey, not their names, something else.
Somebody's, yeah, correct. So one other quick thing here about the NBA. Let's get on to a lighter topic. Have you guys watched any of the NBA games?
Don't I get an opinion on that topic?
Oh, I apologize.
Hey, man, basic freedom. It affects all of us,
Man,
man.
listen to you three fuckers go on and bloviate left and right while I'm writing shit down, and then it's like, okay, next topic.
Nope, no. This is oppression, Rich. You're not allowed.
Did Rich just say
All right.
bloviate?
Yes, he did.
Yeah,
Nice, dude.
I'll get
Nice
to
word.
the point. All right, first of all, George, as to something you said, you got quite passionate about the fact that you believe that every single of the 800,000 plus police officers in this country will mark and follow a black person because they walk by him. It's the dumbest fucking thing I've ever heard. And it kind of pisses me off because you're assuming nearly 1 million people of all colors and races are automatically racist. So then how do we have black cops and brown cops and girl cops and dudes who used to be girl cops and girls who used to be guys who used to be girl cops? I mean, we got all kinds, man. It's individual people who are dicks and see their position as some way to boss people around, or just complete assholes who really do think there's a difference in us because of the color of our skin. The problem is the good cops that allow this shit to happen and don't say anything.
So let me just address that real quick because I want to just
Will
make
not
sure that
stand, man.
exactly. I lumped it in as an overall opinion. Now I agree. Not all cops are bad. Not all cops are good. There's a bunch of different variations, but in general, if we as white American males walk past a police officer, they're not going to necessarily look at us twice. If we were black African American, they
I'd stare
might.
the fuck out of you.
And
George.
that's the thing is that's what I think the general, and again that's taking a hold wide fucking stroke to it, a
Fucker's
real
got
wide
something up
brush.
his ass.
You know what I mean?
True, because I would contend that if a well-dressed group of white dudes walked by and then
fucking
the four of us walked by, the cops sure as shit would be looking at our ugly ass.
No, like
You understand?
100%. But I'm just saying it in the standpoint.
Guy with the
in the-
fucking Bucks.
All I'm
jersey
saying
on.
is in the same thing. Exactly.
Jesus
That
Christ,
motherfucker with the
fucking
Tom Brady.
Miserable
Brewers.
piece of shit.
Yeah. My only thing is we've never
Fucking
had
Liverpool soccer jersey, son.
Yeah, it is. Ole, 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 ole. My point
Your
is,
Wearing a
boyfriend.
great
there's-
T-shirt. It says red.
we've never had a second look because of the color of our skin. Because I wear a Liverpool jersey and because I'm fucking awesome, 100%. People look at 2 or 3
Joey's all
times.
fired up. That got him.
But by the color of our skin is really what I'm thinking, is what I'm coming from, and that's what really think sucks.
And I don't dispute that does happen.
And that's
don't
again, it was a broad
I don't
stroke.
Like the big,
Right.
big generalizations in either direction.
I don't disagree.
Although, secondly, about the NBA in China, I don't know if you guys saw this, and I sure as shit aren't going to be able to pronounce the name of these people, but there are pictures taken by independent news agencies that show the Chinese government rounding up a group of people, blindfolding them, and then putting them on trains because they're shipping them to work camps. So it's kind of interesting that here in this country where you can have jobs and you can live how you want and you can do all kinds of stuff, but there's a air of oppression, and they're turning their back on actual real life, change my life, possibly I'm going to die like World War II oppression. The same group that runs around calling federal agents to stop the burning down of a federal courthouse stormtroopers, or our president a Nazi, even though I haven't noticed 11 million people go missing, or
I thought he said Yahtzee.
That say that one person of one blood can't marry the person of another blood. Oh, why is that? Because that shit doesn't fucking happen. So for the NBA to turn their back on actual real world fucking ethnic cleansing is disgusting. Especially LeBron, who is the fucking cheerleader for the NBA China thing back when this went down. And I think he tweeted out for the Houston Rockets exec to shut up.
Yeah.
Or it was something pretty blunt and rude. I'm sorry. It's virtual signaling, whatever they call it these days, when you're telling everybody, look how good I am. Everybody, come see how good I look. I'm contributing to their appropriate charities and saying all the right things to the people who run in one direction or the other, depending on what I say. They got that nailed down straight. But as far as being real, true human beings, they're all pieces of shit. And the last thing,
I got
I'm going to slow clap. This is the 1980s movie. And the last thing, what the fuck do names and phrases have to do with winning a basketball game? These people have millions of followers. They have people who hang on every word they say. Save it for after the game, dude. I'm here to watch you play basketball, not for you to run up and down the court like a fucking, I can't think of the word. You know what I'm trying to say, man.
Walrus.
What Lennon said.
John Lennon.
Yeah. Beautiful.
No,
I was setting that up for you.
Right,
But,
John,
I mean, like,
I'm with you.
They're running around like big billboards of.
Lenin! Vladimir Ulyich Ulyanov!
What are you talking about, dude?
That makes me
I
fucking sick.
don't understand why.
Those sick fucks. I didn't want to watch my body's like face down in the mud next to this fucking strumpus. These fucking whores. And waltz around town. There's no relation to Vietnam, man. Well, there's not a literal connection. Face it, Walter, there isn't any connection.
I
watch my buddies die face down in the mud. Sorry, Rich. Go ahead. Sorry.
Sports get away from this shit, and now that's all sports has become. They're not asking them X's and O's. They're asking, "Oh, what are you going to wear on the back of your jersey?"
That's why I said.
They're not asking, "What did you do during COVID?" They're asking, "Oh, are you guys going to play or are you going to protest?" Like,
that's why I said you won't see one of them playing for free. There's going to be a huge paycheck to each player. Well-deserved. And they should. I'm not saying you should play, but you know what? There's no oppression in the NBA. And yeah, LeBron's built schools, and I know, George, they've given
it's
money.
not just the impression of the NBA. It's the impression of where they came from, how they got to where. And they were one of the lucky ones to get out of wherever they came from to be in the NBA. And that's true. And maybe not all of them.
Maybe.
Not all of them. But the image is, and what they as players individually, collectively, or as a league have put out there is, the image is, you want to make it out of an bad urban situation. If you're good enough and you can play, you can eventually go to college. Now the G League you can get paid for, and eventually the NBA, and make a star and make a name for yourself and be able to get yourself out of those situations. You can say that across the board for anybody, okay? I'm not
As soon
saying
as they
that.
say the word oppressed while collecting their paycheck, I don't
Yeah,
agree
but
with that. I can't be sold.
Okay,
I
but
can't
let me
be
ask.
sold.
All right, let me ask you a question, right? When you say the word oppressed, could you say it? All right, well, hey, the Irish people were oppressed back in the 17 and 1800s, right? If
Sure.
we're playing basketball, we're trying to come out of it for, and I'll use the term very loosely again in air quotes, our people. I'm Irish. I think, I know Maddie, we think is Irish. We're not sure.
Don't your fucking mouth.
The bastard son of the fucking leprechaun from Lucky Charms.
Pretty much. But that's the thing is we could say, all right, well, we're helping our people. We're bringing light to what my people, Irish descent and heritage, had to deal with. So I get it, but I can still collect a big fat ass check and still make it known that I'm not happy with the way the Irish people were treated when I was
Sure,
younger.
but while I'm
that
seeing
now?
while I'm seeing people of those of let's say I'm a black guy, I'm seeing, okay, this is what's going on. The people are dying and being looked at weird and funny. I wear the name in the back of my jersey while playing in a bubble for 3 months or less, then leaving, going to my mansion of my 18,000 square foot home.
They're assholes if they don't continue the cause after this.
I was gonna get to that. That's what I'm saying. Is that
then that's it.
they're
If it's
doing
just
this,
if it's just for a show and it's
that's what
just
I mean.
like Rich was saying, the look at me factor, I'm giving to charities, I'm saying her name, I'm writing George Floyd's name on my shoes and carrying his message with me. If they're doing that for show, and then they go back into their ivory towers, so to speak, right? And you don't hear shit from them.
That was my next point.
Then they're assholes. Then
that's
they're
assholes. That's what I mean. They're gonna collect the check,
and regardless of
and
but if they continue it, then that's great. But it still doesn't mean that there still needs to be something that's addressed, that elephant in the room, and how we can get rid of this systemic bullshit that's going on right now in our country.
Show me in 5 years if they're wearing names in the back of the jerseys.
See, they're not going to. They're not going to. And that's the thing.
Right. So what if nothing? What if not? I mean, this thing, we can go off topic. I don't want to, but just sticking with the NBA. What if things do change a little bit? They say, okay, it's being addressed. Things are being better. We've done the NBA thing. We've done the NFL thing. We've done the banner on Mass Pike. We've done all these things with the thing. We've done all this, and it's still happening. And then in a couple of years, it happens again. So if it's me, I'm going to go, okay, you know what? I'm losing sleep over it. I'm offended by everything. I hate what's going on. I want 100% change. Not right now. I want it forever. So from this point forward, in my contract, I'll either play for half my money, give my money to the inner cities where I live. I'm wearing a name back of my jersey.
No. It's no. So you always equate it to money. It's not about the money. They have the right to earn whatever the fuck they want from their contract perspective. It's their decision to then take and say if they're going to donate to charities or if they want to donate to charities. They shouldn't have to say in their contract right half of it. Fuck off.
No.
I don't care if you tell me I could be fighting for all the fucking Irish rights in the world. Again, I use that because I'm Irish. I could be fighting for all the Irish rights in the world and how we were oppressed back in the day because we were the laughing stock of America and used for shit jobs and everything growing up in the late 1700s, 1800s, and all that. You know what I mean? I mean, hell, Blazing Saddles had a big line. We'll take these, but we don't want the Irish. You know what I mean? Like, I get it. I'm oppressed, quote unquote. But that's my decision to do what the fuck I want to do with my money. I shouldn't have to go into a contract and say, I want this to be like that. And if I do, then fine. But I shouldn't have to play for free because you think to me.
No, I'm not saying that. But if
then what the fuck are you talking about money for? Money has nothing to do with it.
These guys are making hundreds and millions of dollars.
Who gives a fuck? That's what their job is.
So their flavor of the week is put a name in the back of their jersey for a couple weeks.
No, the flavor of the week has still nothing to do with money, though. The flavor of the week has to do with what's going on in this fucking country. And why don't you understand that?
And then when it's all done, they're going to take their little jerseys off. They're going to bring them to their big houses. And they're going to sit back and go, oh, that was good. That was fun. I like doing that. And they're not going to give a fuck. they're not going to care.
Dude, I don't
because
think
come
so.
next season,
I don't
it's the
think
same
so.
thing's going to happen.
Okay,
They'll come
and
out
this
with
is
their
and
fucking checks, and that's how that's the truth, though, George.
and again,
That's the fucking truth.
But again, it's not though, because none of us are black. None of us are African American. None of us
we
feel.
turn the TV on. I can turn my TV on right now and watch these players play.
Mike, none of us have felt the way they have felt in this country as an African American male.
Sure, I pull a black screen on my Facebook.
So if that bullshit happens to them all the time growing up from elementary school, middle school, high school, AAU, college, G League, pros.
I get it. I get the timeline. It's
not about the fucking money. It's not.
I get the timeline. So
it's about the fact that this is bullshit in this fucking country that they want stopped.
Like you said earlier,
it's not about money.
The flavor of the week.
But then fine, allow them to have the flavor of the week and allow them to try and get what's going on in this fucking country, something that gets a headlight on it so people start thinking better like we all do. Like, and I will say, we all don't see color. I will speak for every one of us. I don't care what color you are. I don't care what fucking planet you're from. If you're cool with me, I'm cool with you. We'll sit down, 100%. We'll have beers, we'll laugh, we'll joke, we'll watch sports, we'll argue, we'll hug, fight, and all that shit. I love it. I'm in about it. Let's go. It has nothing to do with the money. I don't care if they go sit in their ivory towers and do whatever. I don't care if they go sit in their one-room shack in the middle of the fucking 4th Street on a cardboard dishwasher box. I don't care what they're doing and where they're going. It has nothing to do with the money. It has to do with the fucking
guy in his cardboard box next to a shack, and I look at him and go, Jesus Christ, this fucking guy,
fucking tits, bro.
This guy has done everything for me because I'm the one suffering, not him. I'm the one who's suffering.
Because the guy in the fucking cardboard box didn't have the skill set that allows him to be a professional athlete. Why do you think I'm doing this fucking sports thing? I don't have the skill set to be a professional athlete, but I sure know the games, and I sure as fucking talk about them, and I can sure as fucking break down game film of most any sport and understand it and be able to let you know about it. I can't fucking play sports. I'm too short, fat, and old. All right.
Oh, I bet you had 1 or 2 years that you really shined, George.
When he was 2 or 3.
Yeah. I had a few good years when I was shining. I'll only tell you this, that I can't do it now, but that doesn't mean that I'm no less of a person for putting a name on the back of a jersey or not.
Not saying that. I'm not saying that.
It has nothing to do with money. It doesn't.
Stop saying that. You're saying that same comment.
Because you say it's all about money. What is it about money? It's not.
What I'm saying is, right now, it's about the attention. Until next year comes around.
Because they have the platform.
And then the attention is they've had the platform forever. They're using it today.
But until the George Floyd thing happened, nobody really put their foot down and said, this is got to be over permanently. Everybody said, hey, this is going to be over, and they stopped and they walked away.
I want to see next year if the NBA comes out, or the NFL comes out, or the NHL comes out, or Major League Baseball comes out and says, you know what? We're not going to wear a name in the back of our jersey. We're going to wear these names. We want these names on our jerseys.
I'm fine with that too.
That's my whole point. So until they do that, they're going to make their checks and go home. They're not going to care next season. That's where the money comes in, George.
But you say they're not going to care as a fact. How do you know that? How do you know that the NBA is not going to allow them to continue wearing Black Lives Matter, equality, freedom, stand up, say her name?
I think if this wasn't during a pandemic, this would never happen.
No, exactly.
Nope. Look at every single league. Look at every single league. Major League Baseball.
I should have said that
extra innings. Now they're starting the guy on second base. They've been doing that in the minor leagues. They are trying out all these different rules and ideas that they've had for years. So
you think this nameplate?
This wasn't dealing with a pandemic, George? Unfortunately not.
So you think that this is no?
They are letting the rules, or not the rules, the guidelines.
They're
rewriting them and loosening it up.
That's what I want to see next year. That's my question. I should have said that.
My question is, do you
George,
think?
I'm sorry, I should have said
that. No, that's all right. Do you think that they're allowing this to happen now because of A, the pandemic, or B, because finally, for good, bad, and indifferent, the people are putting their foot down and saying no, and not just stopping and causing a tantrum and then walking away. They're staying, and they're staying fully planted in the ground. You know, like I'll paraphrase a Captain America quote, and Rich, I'm sure you can say it. When everybody tells you to move, it's your choice. It's your decision and your right to say no, you move. And that's what the NBA is doing right now. That's what the Black community is doing right now, and saying we are done dealing with this bullshit in our lives, period.
That I'm not attesting to you.
I'm not denying that at all.
Totally,
I
totally
think
agree
we
with that.
agree.
Yeah,
So
they are
then-
putting their
so
foot down
even if this didn't
because
happen
this was
in
a
the
clear cut
pandemic-
and dry case
Okay,
with George Floyd.
So here's the
But
question.
then the pandemic happened. You're going to tell me that all the NBA players after George Floyd, like, we're not stepping foot on the floor until something changes. You think that would have happened? You
That's
think
where
that
the,
would
I
that's
have
where
don't
the money
know.
comes in.
I
That's
don't
where,
know.
That's where my money thing comes in. They're
I
not
think
going to do
not.
it. They're not
I
going to do
think
it.
not.
And it's okay. And George, I know what you mean. I get it. I do agree with you. It is okay to say, I earned my shit. I busted my ass. Maybe you didn't, but I did it. I'm gonna do it in the honor of you to say, I'm gonna go up here. But you can't come out and say, okay, for this time period, for this time frame right now, we're gonna do A, B, and C because we can. Next season, if it comes out and says, you know something, that brought up a lot of awareness. That brought change. That brought positivity. That brought people that we wouldn't expect to be together with together. So you know what? We're going to continue this no-name thing. Here's a new list of things
It's
to put.
trial. Yeah, it's a tryout.
Maybe they're going to put
basically.
something on the front here. And this is for all the teams across, not just NBA. This is going to be for everything. Soccer included, lacrosse, golf. Everything's going to have something to do with this now, and it's a good thing. But my point is, they're going to do this now. Not one guy's going to say, you know what? I ain't fucking playing for money. I'm not playing at all until something's done. I've made my earnings. I've done my shit. I should have rewarded differently. Maddie, kind of thank you, and George, I apologize. But that's my whole thing about money. Playing for free, no. If you'd be a fucking asshole to do that. But no one's going to come out and say, I'm not fucking playing as a team. The Boston Celtics, just an example, we're not playing a game until something is changed. And we hope you guys follow us. And if you don't, call us assholes, we'll lose money, but you know something? It's worth it for the change. Not a little name in the back, not a cute little slogan, not a fit. None of that shit
It's
matters.
almost like
until
a holdout or
The players came up with the idea, right, guys?
Right,
I asked
right.
that
Yes, correct.
question.
And,
Yeah.
and I
And I
know
don't think there
it's-
was any pushback from the NBA besides,
No.
okay, well, you can't say
you can't
this
talk
name or
about
that way.
China. Yeah.
Well, right,
So
right. Which
that's
that's
what I
a
mean.
hot
So
topic too. But
there
yes,
is
NBA was like, you know what, fuck it. Whatever gets these guys on the court, if that makes them happy or they give that option,
Yeah.
we will do that because everybody deals with this pandemic differently.
Right.
That is the sole cause.
and,
Now,
and, I,
if
and I think
MLB would not have a runner on second base in the 10th inning if their pandemic didn't happen. I mean, they're changing the rules. I think this is more of a loose thing. Like, go
and actually,
for
Maddie,
it.
I thought about when you I know we can keep going this for hours, but to kind of add on to piggyback what you said about oh, you pulled the Walt Disney. Oh, you need to pull the Jim Henson. The about doing it now during the pandemic. I think if it was in a full 25, 30,000 stadium or arena or 18,000 people, I think the league and the players would know that, okay, they're kind of going to do what we're doing now. So maybe to piggyback, Maddie, what you said about the pandemic and what they're doing, maybe they're doing it because there's no fans and we can bring the attention because we're here. And there's a platform. And George, you're right. It is their platform and you should use it for how you want to use it. But my whole point, there's not one player saying, I'm either A, going to play for free, or B, I'm not playing at all until real change comes this country.
Right.
If you tell me if fucking LeBron James stood up right now with all these big names and said, we ain't fucking playing. We're not playing. We
Yeah, if
want
LeBron
change.
James said no, everybody else would say no.
That's what I mean. So that's kind of, and I could have worded it a little differently, but that's my whole point about the money. Yes, they're going to make their checks. Yes, they should. They deserve. They've earned it. But this is a flavor of the week, unfortunately. And I hope not. I hope it keeps going. It doesn't offend me at all. It's a fucking game. Get the ball in the hoop and move on. Get the puck in the net and leave. Unfortunately, the Bruins lose right now 3-0. We'll let that go. I don't know. I hope this isn't just that. I hope real change can come of it, but I don't see it. I think these are just a little window of time to say we're going to do it just because we want to. We want to
sports. We're going to try everything.
Yeah, we're going to try everything we can do and piggyback it, and then we'll see what happens on the road.
To make people watch. That's another thing. I mean, I'm not going to watch the game for who has what. I mean, I can look up right now and look at every basketball player and what they're going to wear.
Right.
That doesn't really.
Doesn't bother
I'm
me
not
at
going to
all.
watch it because of that. I'm going to watch it because I'm thirsty for sports.
Yeah. Yeah.
To say
I'm
that,
horny for it.
I want sports.
I'm
you know what I
horny
mean?
for
Like,
it. Give it to me.
Well,
Yeah.
when sports becomes it becomes all about that, and every single thing is said from that. As a sports fan who just like we joked earlier, we laugh about the phrases and the announcers. You guys, George, if anybody knows me, I use humor a lot for everything, for the deepest, darkest things. I don't care.
You don't say.
You're just an asshole.
Not wrong, Walter. You're
No,
just an asshole.
I use humor. I use
Okay,
humor for
then.
everything. It can.
Town and O'Brien next week. They should be pushovers. Just take it easy, man. That's your answer for everything, dude. Pacifism. Look at our current situation. Camel fucking the rap.
But yeah, that's my whole point. Anyways, let's get to a better topic.
I was going to say, on a lighter note, have any of you guys watched any of the NBA, and do you like the setup where they literally, like, as soon as the court's done, like, boom, it's done. Like, it's almost like a boxed-in area with, different, like, screens to set up. I'm
a
a huge
hotel.
They're doing everything they can.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, that's a dangerous sport to be playing.
Yeah.
They are doing everything that they can. And like I said, NHL and the NBA has got it right. It's just building the bubble, and it's harder in other sports to do, aka football and major leagues, but not to get back on that. But yeah, they are doing everything that they can to get the hell out of here. Like, all right, that's it. Like, don't even shake hands or whatever. But and I like the new camera angle. This is the other thing that they're trying things out. The new camera is literally right on the floor. Of course, you have the one that's at center court, but it's literally following the players. And it's like, wow, this game's pretty fucking quick. I've never sat down there, but that's pretty fucking quick.
Yeah. Yeah, the game is a pretty quick game.
They're trying everything that they can. I mean, I'm all for experimenting with everything, different camera angles, different interview, however you want to set it up. It's just try to make the best of it. Trying to have the most fun of it,
Well, I think that might be the end of it. I do want to touch base on a couple quick things before we do wrap up. One, Rich, love your shirt. If you are watching right now, you can see that we have these really fancy Armchair Sports Guys shirts in both white and in gray. We did a test run for ourselves. If you like them, again, follow us on Facebook at The Armchair Sports Guys, on Instagram at The Armchair Sports Guys, and Twitter at Armchair_Guys. Also, send us an email at thearmchairsportsguys@gmail.com. Let us know if you like the t-shirts, if you want one. We might start taking some pre-orders for the next batch. We may also be having hats and sweatshirts come down, possibly koozies, a few different things. So there's some fun stuff down the road to look for. And let's just at least address the biggest pink elephant in the room, which is really the person who won from our draft this week, which...
Bullshit.
You're looking at him.
Bullshit.
This guy right here. Almost unanimous, I would say, of the votes we had.
All six friends of yours?
Yeah, well, I took all 6 votes, so,
I mean, we didn't really, if that's what you're going to say, I didn't even know you had 6 friends. A.
Why do you think I have 6 friends? It was
B. B, I got a vote in there.
I think I got a couple of best names for
Mike got
Dong
a couple
Dong.
of votes. So
listen,
it was undefeated, and it was,
so,
the
unanimous.
English kicked the Scottish ass, right off of Falkirk. Come on.
Yes.
I got a couple. I had 4, almost 5.
Eddie, my own girlfriend voted for you.
See? The truth. I'll set you free. I don't know how Dick Trickle isn't in the Hall of Fame. For just that name
NASCAR.
alone.
No, NASCAR, he is. He's in NASCAR Hall of Fame.
Oh, he is? Oh,
Yeah.
I believe so, yeah.
Well, he should be in our little Hall of Fame. You take the top 5 great names, not just by team, and that's what everybody should vote on that. So you have 4 teams, or technically 5 with Sean, and then you have 1 vote. You don't have per team if you want to do that, but go to the website and vote.
Wait a minute. Do we do the ASG HOF?
Ooh.
They
Mm.
don't call me. They don't call me the.
How about a fresca? How about a fresca?
There's nothing like it.
Exactly.
But yes, George, you won.
Yeah.
Nice
You're
job.
welcome. You're welcome.
Back to you.
So,
I'm going.
fuckers. Hey, well, so I'm going to say this because we're all going to get out of here shortly. So, on behalf of Mike LaChance, Matt O'Brien, Rich Mays with the funny shirt, I am GJ Mitchell signing off saying again, thank you for listening to us on the Armchair Sports Guys. Quick thing before we go on a prediction. Celtics, do they make, I love it, all of you guys at once. Do the Celtics make the NBA? Sorry, we'll start with the Eastern Conference Finals. Mike, do they make the Eastern Conference Finals? Yes or no?
Yes.
Matt
Yeah.
and Rich, do they make the Eastern Conference Finals?
Yeah.
Yep. And I so a unanimous.
Better.
Unanimous. I say
Rich is
unanimous.
so-
Yet. Follow with
Fire.
question number 2, and then we're out of here. Mike, do they make the NBA Finals? Doesn't matter who they're playing.
Nope.
No, Matt
Nope, I don't think
Nope.
and Rich.
Nope.
I'm going against the grain. I'm saying yes. I think this team is hungry enough to do it, and I think they
What
can.
a fight about it.
I think they can knock off a team like like Milwaukee, and do a sneaky good job of knocking them off.
You're out of your mind, Stone.
I am
Not gonna make
foul.
the Eastern Conference Finals.
And on that note, we're out of here. So for Mike,
Technical foul.
Illinois, let's go Coffee.
I am GJ Mitchell signing off saying stay tuned. The next episode is going to be a Bruins preview as we preview what's going on up in Toronto,
Field
And-
sport.
the NHL, and let you know what our opinions on that shit is as well. So good night. Again, be good to each other, people. Don't be stupid fucks. And we'll talk to you later. Thanks again. Peace.